Hey everyone, it's been some time, and no silly intros for today, and I apologize for the lack of uploads recently. Last month, we received a news that the Gundam Seed Freedom wouldn't be screening in my city, so it turns out they have a contract with the SM Mall cinemas in the Philippines. Unfortunately, the nearest SM mall to us is 6 hour drive away, and I have to plan everything weeks in advance since it's a total of 12 hours of travel back and forth. Additionally, work has been keeping me busy really lately, so I had to schedule my vacation time very carefully. As a result, I haven't had the time or energy to make videos at all. Fortunately, the experience was worth it. I had the opportunity to watch my first Gundam movie in theaters, and it was a lot of fun, dog. Especially seeing people display their Gunplas in honor of the movie. It was a blast. I might consider making a separate video to delve deeper into my feelings about it, but if I were to summarize my thoughts, I'd say it was a lot of fun. However, it did have flaws, and I can understand why some people might not enjoy this show. Yet, as someone who watched both Seed and Seed Destiny, I believe it provided a proper conclusion to the Seed franchise and was definitely built for the fans. But anyway, as for the time of this recording, Seed Freedom is already airing in the US, and simultaneously, Bandai Spirits has announced some incredible new kits slated for release this year. The lineup is predominantly dominated by Seed kits, as revealed at the Shizuoka Hobby Show 2024. So let's dive into it, but make sure to check your wallets because it's going to be tough on them, my god. Before I talk about Seed kits, because let's be honest, they pretty much stole the show. But let's first discuss other cool Bandai upcoming releases this year. Let's kick things off with a surprise announcement, the RX-78 Revival version. Well, it's not a revive, but a true revival of the original Gunpla that was made. This creative approach brings back to the old 144 scale kit using modern technology while staying faithful to the original proportions. I'm quite fond of this one. If I get the chance, I might pick one up. The colors definitely remind me of that peculiar animation it had back in the 60s. Now, let's go to a more modern interpretation of the RX-782. I already discussed this in my last. It's the Real Great RX-782 2.0. I covered this in my last video where I also expressed hope for more 2.0 real grades in the future, and it seems there might be a chance that that would happen. But in this show, they've shown a weapon option kits, and yeah, it's what I expect of a RX-78 weapons. And I'm trying to find out if it's a P Bandai release, but it seems gonna be separate kit, which is cool because pretty much I like posing my RX with just my beam saber or his gun, but that's just me. The next release is the MGSD Gundam Wing Zero EW. Personally, I'm not always the biggest fan of MGSD, but I always find them really cool, and I appreciate the variety they bring. I mean, look at those details. I always think of them as you building something different, something with new experience. Looking back at the past kits like Freedom, Barbados, and Wing Zero, they seem to pick popular Gundam designs despite having 3 MG SD kits by now. They didn't really choose any of the Universal line. I don't know why. Maybe Unicorn will be next. Moving on with Witch from Mercury. I almost forgot about this, but Nika is getting a figurized kit, and as I see in their lineup, I think they're almost done with the female characters. Hopefully we can get finally some male characters also, like my boy Ghoul. Lastly, let's discuss this kit that unfortunately got stretched to the sides. It is known as the Borzem 2 Judging by the design, it seems to be another advance in Zeta kits. This is the only photo I could find of it. I've always found the AOZ designs really interesting. They always have a unique way on their designs with their mobile suit, and this different take of the Barzan looks even cooler. And finally, let's dive into the main event, the Seed or Seed Freedom kits. Well, many YouTube channels have already discussed the new kits, so I'll just touch on some little bit of spoiler territory here. So consider yourself warned. If you haven't seen the movie or don't want to get any spoilers, you might want to skip ahead, which is my guess majority of you guys already have been spoiled. So moving on, let's start with the Morasami Kai. Look, I always had a feeling that the Morasami would get its own kit because the Rising Freedom and Immortal Justice are pretty much upgraded versions of the Morasami, so that would make sense to make a kit of it. And I know it's the movie version, but still, it gets me excited to finally have a Morasami kit for the longest time. And now if you see here, it is very different than his visual art for the mobile suit. But if I remember correctly, this one right here, the kit, it is pretty much very accurate to the movie. I remember there was a flying scene when Kira is commanding a bunch of Murasamis, and yeah, I can see, yeah, it is very, very accurate. I just think this version might be Mul Flaga's version of the Murasami, which I gotta be, it didn't really last that long. It almost got totaled by a Black Knight. So I might watch the scene again just to be sure. Okay, let's finally talk about the wedding cake Gunpla. Colorea. Completing with the Black Knight kits, it looks absolutely stunning. Just compare it with the Mighty Strike Freedom and all those effects. My goodness, it's breathtaking. They even showed that the details are not stickers, which is impressive for their part. However, if the Mighty Strike Freedom is compatible with my original HGCE Strike Freedom wings, I would display it with Dragoons. It would look 10 times better, like a pure Dragoon epic fight, because Strike Freedom Type 2 had more to do than Mighty Strike Freedom. Just gonna be honest with that, but it would require a lot of third-party wings expansion and a lot of stands. So I just wish Cholera had more screen time, but I'd definitely buy this. It might be expensive, but let's be honest, all the Seed Freedom kits are a bit pricey nowadays. Next one is Helda's Gyan Storm. It's pretty much a recolor of Agnes Gyan Storm, piloted by the Dom pilots, the trio. Look, I wish they kept the Dom. They were much cooler on those suits. It's a shame that they didn't do that. Next kit is a huge surprise for me because at first glance, I really thought this was a metal robot release, but it's actually a 144 high grade version of Destiny Gundam Spec 2 with the Zeus silhouette. Honestly, I want one, but I really don't know where to put it because I'm really losing space in my room. So I might not buy this right away because I'm in the middle of storaging my Gunplas, because I do want to buy more display cabinets. I might throw this on the backlogs, but we'll see. Overall, great kit. Next up are the kits that got everyone excited, and rightfully so. The real grade Akatsuki Gundam with pure gold-plated parts. I've always wished for a modern take on both the Owashi and the Shinrinoi version, but I understand why they didn't make the Shinrinoi. It might require additional effect parts, since Shinrinoi can generate shield bearers, that kind of stuff. We'll have to wait and see if they release as a P-Bandai. Hopefully they won't, but only time will tell. As expected, this Gunpla is quite pricey because that gold plate doesn't come cheap. So yeah, that's all the kits. Like and subscribe, and see you next time. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Lastly, let's not forget the mobile suit that stole the whole show, Atheron's HG Zigok. Now, a third party did announce their own Zigok, which I think this will be the one who is going to be released first. As you can see, this Bandai one is still a prototype, but this version has more accurate backpack and have a very interesting detail reflecting that mirror. If they go to that far that is compatible with the Justice, this would be peak Gunpla. I'm just gonna tell it right now. But I I doubt they will do that. So yeah, yeah, that's a wrap. This is a wrap rule. If I made this far, thank you for watching. I've made it in 400 subscribers while I was out, so thank you for the patience. I will have some Seed Freedom contents pretty soon, so stay tuned for that.